Hi, everyone. Ahead of our very first AdTech Out of Home conference in Silicon Beach, I'm joined by the chair of the day, Stephanie Gutnik, who is Global Head of DOOH at Yahoo. Hello, Stephanie.
Hi, Adrian.
What can you tell us about our first event in Silicon Beach then?
Well, Adrian, you and I are very excited about bringing this event to LA. This year has been wonderful in terms of North American presence. We've had AdTech out of home Miami. That was the first year that we had the event there, and it was a huge success.
It
Then
was,
we did
yeah.
Toronto and New York; those were both sold out. So with LA, I am really envisioning a great day of enthusiastic locals who are ready to have this kind of dialogue in their own market, as well as some people who are flying in. I spoke with someone this morning who mentioned that it's on their agenda. So the biggest thing again is being able to loop locals into the AdTech out of home dialogue, where we encourage real conversation to enable takeaways that are going to actually make changes when attendees go back to the office.
Right. Now, you and I spoke at length because we've done New York for 3 or 4 years now. I think New York was our fourth year this year. And we talked about how we could extend it outside of New York in North America. We've obviously done Toronto for many years as well. We stumped on Miami, being a nice, giving a Latin flavor. But we had a couple of choices over on the West Coast. We could have done San Francisco. We could have done Utah, perhaps Silicon Slopes. But we stuck on Silicon Beach, which would be great. I think. What sort of people have we got in the market? Outfront, one of your former employers, is quite big in LA, I guess.
The real estate in LA when it comes to digital out of home right now is so interesting. Branded Cities they just announced and activated their Moxie Spectacular, which is in the LA Live area, and a lot going on when it comes to the Sunset Strip and just in general, great screens in LA. So it's definitely time that we bring attention to them. So the publishers are going to be present, but largely the agenda is going to focus on how these screens are being activated as part of media plans. So when we look at the lineup, our keynote fireside chat, my colleague Jason Zolan, who runs, he's a VP of US sales at Yahoo, he's going to have a conversation with Autumn White. She's the EVP of digital and managing partner at Horizon Media. And her colleague as well, Travis, the SVP of digital out of home at Horizon. They're going to have it's going to kickstart the day in excellent fashion, because right now, there's a lot of talk about the role of out-of-home specialists within the overall agency holdco. And that's exactly what Autumn and Travis want to talk about, is how they work together when out-of-home is activated in an omni-channel campaign. So this is just going to be a great way to start the day, again, because it's real. We all need to understand how this works to be able to put together great media plans for clients. We're going to follow that up with a conversation with the programmatic media manager at HP. So brand-centric understanding of what they're looking for and how they're activating out of home. And some feedback that I've been getting from the previous conversations and AdTech out of home events is that case studies are so needed by the industry. We know this is nothing new, but we've been incorporating that in the agenda. So most sessions, if not all of them at this point, are including case studies to be shared. So that's how we're going to look at the rest of the pre-T session, is with Varden. He's from M4, which is very often used as a measurement tool in the out-of-home space. He's going to take us through best practices and ways to approach measurement in out-of-home. He is amazing. So he'll be able to take everyone through all of their questions that they might have that they don't know how to answer. And Firefly are also going to be presenting some case studies of theirs to again demonstrate out-of-home's effectiveness in a media plan.
Yep. We've seen Firefly quite active on Twitter for some time now. They announced some things this week, I think, that they were doing in LA that they've just launched. So that should be quite interesting and quite relevant as well, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
That'll be very good.
And then when it comes to the second half of our morning, we did the first Women in Tech panel that was inspired by what turned into a Women in Tech panel in Toronto in New York. It was a really thoughtful conversation that everybody in the room got involved with. So I anticipate we're going to see the same thing. Former DSF chair. I'm also on the DSF board. Kim Sarubi, she was actually, when I started off in the industry, I had a blog called Leading Ladies of Digital Signage. And Kim was one of the first women that I featured in this series. So it's really a nice full circle.
Nice.
Yeah, she's a wonderful mentor. And so she's going to be moderating this panel and including the SVP of Retail Development and Marketing at NBC Universal Media, as well as the National Director of Sales, B2B Mobility for Retail at Samsung. So it's just going to be Kim's going to do a wonderful job with this dialogue, and I am sure the room is going to jump right in as well. And then we're going to look more at, again, proving digital out of home success. Lamar is going to be up there for that. Ian Dallimore, a good friend of mine, and the VP of Digital Growth. And then we're going to conclude the day. It's going to go like in an amazing fashion. AdTech out of home was meant for Craig Benner at A Creative Media. He is just so honest. He's truly innovative. So he's going to round up our day in conversation with the SVP of Media at Rareview. So I'm looking really forward to that dialogue. The morning's just going to fly by.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thank you for that, Stephanie. So we're in Venice Beach. We've got a beautiful sort of a studio. It's a bit, if you've been to you've been to our events before. I'm talking to our listeners now, but for our viewers, if you've not been to our events, we like quite funky places. When we're in Miami, we had quite a funky place. So we're in the Rose Room in Venice Beach. If you want to Google that, it's on the website. But it's a former studio that's used for parties and bits and pieces. But it'll be a nice space for the event. And as you say, Stephanie, the day is going to go really quickly. I think we start at 8:30 registration, and we should be finished by 1 o'clock. So hopefully, lots of people will be able to join us for our very first event.
It's perfect for locals. They can avoid the traffic that way. And
plenty of parking as well at the Rose Room is one of the reasons we chose it, as opposed to some of the hotels which were paid for parking. So that's good. Okay, Stephanie, thanks for that. I know you're really busy, so we'll sign off now. Is there anything else you want to say to our potential audience apart from see you there at the event?
See you there. And of course, with ideas that you might have for upcoming agendas, we're always open. So please be in touch with Adrian and myself. We can have those conversations.
Yeah, we're always looking for good speakers and good case studies. Great.
Totally.
Thank you, Stephanie.